Israel is cutting back on aid into Gaza this weekend as it gears up for a new assault to fully capture Gaza City. My next guest was just there trying to help the people who are facing a famine. Joining me now is Executive Director of the World Food Program, Ambassador Cindy McCain. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And you just got back from a trip to the Gaza Strip. Can you tell us what you saw?
Well, I saw, as you can imagine, a lot of destruction. I saw a lot of very evident hunger. I saw people on the move in both directions, people trying to get out of the way of what was coming next. And it was I came in, I want to specify how I came in though. I came in through Kisifim Gate, down to Deir al-Balah, to Khan Yunis, and then came out through Kerem Shalom. So it was kind of an L-shaped route that we took. I had the opportunity, I will say, to meet a family that was in Deir al-Balah, and they had come from the north, and there were 11 of them. And they had, part of their belongings that they brought with them were pictures of their family. The family was sitting in front of me, and I couldn't even recognize the family from when they were, the healthy pictures that they took prior to coming down, and then now what was evident in front of me. There was also a small child in the group that had suffered a shrapnel hit in his head. And so they were dealing not only with hunger, but they were dealing with injuries.
Yeah, and that's the story of so many families, as we are now aware. On Friday, Israel announced that it is ending its daytime pauses in fighting, which had allowed that modest increase in aid getting into Gaza City recently. If Israel goes ahead with its planned full-scale invasion of Gaza City, how is that going to impact the flow of humanitarian aid?
Well, it will make it a whole lot more difficult than it already is. What we've been asking for all along is a ceasefire and allow us to get in at scale, unfettered, and safely. As you know, humanitarian aid workers have been targets recently. And so in our opinion, it's really important to keep those three things in mind. But we need to get in. If we can flood that area with food, it's a full surge of food going in there, we can really make a difference, and that's really what we need to be doing right now.
After you warned that Gaza is at a breaking point and that families there are starving, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office accused you of, quote, blaming Israel with false accusations. Quote, she said that during her recent visit to Gaza, she saw a dramatic improvement. Food was available, prices had dropped, and markets showed goods in sufficient supply and at affordable prices. It is regrettable that Mrs. McCain has since issued statements contradicting what she told us in Jerusalem. That is a misrepresentation. Israel is enabling a steady flow of aid in sufficient quantities. What is your response to that?
Well, I disagree. That's not what was going on there. We did talk about the markets, what was occurring on the markets, a more sufficient amount of food that was coming in, not sufficient, but a little bit better amount of food coming in. That's a very true statement that more is coming in, but it's not nearly enough. People are hungry. There's been famine introduced in one part of the country. This is really at a critical phase right now. We need to get in, and famine and malnourishment both. It's not just about food. It's about water. It's about medicine. It's about a steady flow of sufficient other kinds of foods that are the high energy stuff for infants. I mean, this is a lot of, it's more than just one item that needs to go in there in terms of, food, of course, is very important. But again, I really implore everyone, we need to get in at scale and make sure that we can do it in a safe manner. I also had the opportunity to meet with some hostage families. And what they brought up to me, I mean, aside from the obvious, the stress and the danger and everything that they're very concerned about as mothers. And I feel the same. I mean, I'm a mother. I can't imagine having a child in that situation. But more importantly, the hostages aren't getting fed either. And so it's a double whammy every place you look. So it really is time for us to be able to get in, and I implore the world to help make that happen.
President Trump said last month that Netanyahu needs to, quote, finish the job against Hamas. And he's also talking about clearing out and developing Gaza. What would that mean for Palestinians living there?
Well, right now, I can only speak for right now. I mean, it's devastation. Palestinians have no place to go. There's, you can imagine, it's a war zone. But again, we need to start with the basics, and that's food and water. Those are the things that need to go in now.
When you were speaking to Palestinians in Gaza, what did they say to you about Hamas? And do they blame Hamas for starting the war?
The Palestinians that I spoke to didn't even mention Hamas, to be very honest with you. They're more concerned about food and medicine in a couple of the cases. I also visited a health clinic, and in the health clinic I saw mothers, lactating mothers, pregnant mothers with their infants, etc. And there's, as you can imagine, it's a devastating scene to watch because they're so malnourished and so desperate that it calls for, as I keep saying, we need to get in and feed. I think the other thing to remember too is that unless we can get to those who are the most helpless, and like that health clinic that I was in, we're not going to be able to save a lot of people if we don't. We've been able to get in a little bit, as I've said, but we still need to do it, and we need to get further in. I need more routes to be able to get in, not just the same 2 roads that we've been able to use. We need more routes. And of course, we need safe access.
I do want to end this interview on a personal note about your late husband, because this past week marked the 7th anniversary of his passing. And this is something that he said in 2017 on this show. Let's listen.
How do you want the American people to remember you?
He served his country. And not always right. Made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of errors, but served his country, and I hope we could add honorably.
There is a significant bipartisan agreement today. I think that that's his legacy. I wonder, as you think on what he said there, what you think serving honorably looks like in these times that we are in now.
Well, I think certainly my husband's leadership is a good example of what serving honorably is all about. But I think it's a call to action for all of our politicians and our civil servants, et cetera. We have to work together to make this world a better place. We can't, the sidelines, as John used to call it at home a little bit, we can't do this. We need to work together in a bipartisan manner to make sure that we can get the things achieved that we need achieved, and also that we can, as my husband just said, serve honorably as a result.
Ambassador Cindy McCain, thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
Thank you.